Hey there and welcome to our How to Set Up and Use Accounting Periods within Financials for Office 365 video. Today, we're going to look at accounting periods and fiscal years, which is very important from a financial management perspective to be able to open and close accounting periods and fiscal years, depending on whether they are required to be posted in or locked down and closed. It's important to note that there are three places to open and close periods and fiscal years. There's the General Ledger Setup, which applies to companies and all users. There's the User Setup, which is user-specific. And the Accounting Periods window, which applies to all users. First of all, let's look at specifying posting periods in the General Ledger Setup. In the search box, enter General Ledger Setup, and then choose the related link. In the General Ledger Setup window, on the General Fast tab, enter a date in the Allow Posting From field to specify the beginning of the period. To specify the end of the period, enter a date in the Allow Posting To field. As mentioned before, the dates that you define here apply to the company and all users. Next, if you want to define different posting periods for different users, you can set them up for each user in the User Setup window. If you enter dates here, the dates entered on the General Fast tab in the General Ledger Setup window will not apply to these users. So let's open the User Setup window and have a look. In the search box, enter User Setup and then choose the related link. The User Setup table specifies the settings for when the user is allowed to post transactions. The Allow Posting From field specifies the earliest date on which the user is allowed to post within the company. After you enter a date, it is possible for the user to post to the company before that date. If you have entered a different date for the same user in the General Ledger Setup table, then as mentioned, the date in the Allow Posting From field in the User Setup table takes precedence. So now that you are familiar with the General Ledger Setup and how to open a new fiscal year, before you can post in a fiscal year, you must open the fiscal years and define its accounting periods. To open a new fiscal year in accounting periods, use the universal search function, enter accounting periods, and then choose the related link. The fiscal year is typically 12 periods of 1 month each, but you can also divide it in other ways. In the accounting periods page, choose the Create Year action. Fill in the fields to define the structure of the fiscal year, choose OK when done, and the accounting periods are automatically added to the page. The starting date and name fields are already filled in. The name field uses the name of each month from the starting date, and after the last period in the fiscal year, an accounting period is inserted and the new fiscal year checkbox is selected. If you have any questions while using Financials for Office 365, you can click on the question mark for a Windows-specific help page. If you want help with a field, click on the caption, or for a column, click on the heading and select Help like so. And that was how to set up and use accounting periods within Financials for Office 365.